I laugh when people say, oh, you've got Trump derangement syndrome. I think if you're a reasonable person, you should have Trump derangement syndrome.
The most dangerous thing about Trump is how he attracts equally dim-witted fascists to his cause. They can call us deranged, but look closely enough, and if you're operating with even a modest IQ, the truth is staggering. Trump is surrounded by the spectrumy antics of Elon Musk, who acts like a 12-year-old boy who just discovered boners. And on the other end, Michael Flynn, an apeshit convicted felon and former general who tried to talk Trump into shutting down polling places in 2020 and declare himself the winner. In between these two is a collection of losers, misfits, and white supremacists.
There is an occult element at the high levels of society, and specifically among the Jews.
A bunch of childless cat ladies.
I know the downside of Trump, but let me tell you about the upside of Trump.
We can't stand you. You're a shit vice president.
Some will say now that I am calling America a Christian nation, and so I am. And some will say that I am advocating Christian nationalism, and so I do.
The election that just occurred was rigged.
It's actually not a real problem in America. White supremacy, that's the problem. This is a hoax.
In addition to these mopes, there's an entire network dedicated to lying to Trump's base. Lies about voting machines that cost him almost $1 billion.
Powell became infamous when she appeared with Rudy Giuliani claiming the 2020 election had been stolen.
President Trump won this election in a landslide. It's going to be irrefutable.
So when you say derangement, it is literally the opposite of what MAGA advertises. Trump's imploding cognitive state begs this question: how much worse could this whole thing get?
And by the way, I think he has derangement syndrome about us, too. The fact of the matter is, this is a dangerous person. This is a stupid person. And that's a bad combination. And I think what we're forgetting, I keep forgetting it, and I have to keep reminding myself, is he's not just running for president. He's running to stay out of prison. And that's a pretty powerful thing. He is literally running for his freedom.
But it seems like everybody sort of manned, for good reason, the sort of the battle stations. Whether you're talking about democracy, you can even look over the past week where Donald Trump's talking about arresting his political opponents.
Yeah.
He tried to pressure Disney because of your jokes.
He believes CBS should have their license revoked.
Because he doesn't like how they edited a 60 Minutes package. How concerned are you about what you do right now may have to change if Donald Trump is reelected?
Well, it won't change. I'm concerned, certainly. I think that it would be so un-American if he were to come after people who are speaking out against him.
Kimmel makes a great point about Trump's criminality. If Man-Titties loses, he faces close to $1 billion in fines, as well as prison sentences in both Georgia, New York, and by the federal government. And that can make even a normal person do and say desperate things. And Tiny Fingers possesses nothing in the neighborhood of normal.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it a great badge of honor. Do you know I've been indicted more than Al Capone? Did you ever hear Al Capone?
Trump loves to compare himself to Al Capone. But the truth is, compared to Trump, Capone was a Girl Scout. Let's for a moment forget about Trump's rapidly declining mental state and his dark and malignant sociopathy.
So we're going to let him frack like a duck. Frack.
While Trump's mental faculties are falling like his tits when he takes off his man girdle, Tiny Fingers also has a long and storied criminal record. And everything I'm going to tell you is easily verified. It started back in the 70s when Trump violated housing laws, denying black applicants apartments. He was fined an undisclosed amount by Nixon's Justice Department. Then there was the beginning of his dark side, visiting Epstein's island repeatedly, where young girls were getting raped.
The get-together more than a decade before Epstein pleaded guilty to prostitution charges in Florida. Both men are seen enjoying themselves, Trump pointing out women dancing in front of them.
ET discovered this footage in our archive, which we provided to CBS News.
Soon. Thursday night. You're going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
The 80s and 90s had almost 24 women come forward and accuse Trump of sexual assault. with Jean Carroll's case resulting in a fine of over $100 million for rape and defamation. Trump's first wife claimed he raped her, all while his dark sickness was on full display for everyone to see.
Although she does have a very nice figure. I've said that if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You know?
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird.
We were having a problem. You had Adam Shifty Schiff and all these bad people, including Hillary and others, coming up with this Russia hoax.
Then began a 30-year flirtation with Putin, beginning in the 90s when Trump begged him to allow a Trump Tower in Moscow. That was the beginning of Trump's slide into Putin's pocket. Dan Coats, Trump's director of national intelligence from 2017 to 2019, said he truly believes Trump was compromised by Putin, and the latest revelations by Trump aides offer a pretty frightening insight.
Tonight, a blockbuster new account of Donald Trump's close relationship with Vladimir Putin, their alleged private phone calls after Trump left office, and news that Trump secretly sent the Russian president COVID equipment.
Vice President Kamala Harris responded today during an interview with Howard Stern.
Everybody was scrambling to get these kits, the tests, the COVID test kits.
Couldn't get them.
Couldn't get them.
Right.
Couldn't get them anywhere.
Right.
And this guy who is president of the United States is sending them to Russia, to a murderous dictator for his personal use?
Even after he left office, Trump stayed in touch with the Russian leader. According to Woodward, he cites an unidentified Trump aide who said the former president had as many as 7 private calls with Putin, even one early this year when Trump was urging Republicans to block additional aid to Ukraine.
Stop and consider that for a moment. Why would Trump be talking to Putin when he's no longer the president?
Putin's a killer. A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why you think our country's so innocent?
And of course, 17 U.S. intelligence agencies determined Russians illegally assisted in Trump's win and continue to disrupt our election process. And of course, there's more. The 2 impeachments, all of which led to Trump's 91 indictments for the insurrection, election interference, fraud, and theft of documents.
I just want to find 11,780 votes.
I only scratched the surface, and of course MAGA would say I have Trump derangement syndrome. But of course they would, because the truth is, most of what I told you is hard to grasp. That a nation of 350 million people would elect leaders through this racist electoral college, where a candidate can lose the popular vote and still win. And by the way, in the last 36 years, only one Republican presidential candidate has won the popular vote. This guy, one Republican. And even when Trump won in 2016, he said he lost the popular vote because of the 3 million illegal Mexicans who somehow slipped into California and voted for Hillary.
That is crazy!
Well, Rudy is finally right. Truth is, Republicans, we are deranged. And as Kimmel said, any sane person would be.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, "I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore!"
This is not your father's election anymore. It is a battle for democracy over the authoritarian, theocratic world Trump wants to impose. Also, it's a battle between sanity and this.
They're eating the dogs.
You really want 4 more years of that?
This is not a normal election.
Who's with me?
Damn right.
Yes! Tick-tock, mother...
I'm ready. Let's go.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Trust me.
Shut the fuck up, Dan.
Who's with me?
Oh, yeah, the lie.
Indictable.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Am I wrong? Yes! Tick-tock,
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.